Good morning, and thanks for coming up. I really always want to get guys engaged in this. And I look at, we should all learn from this. How long does it take for somebody to engage? I only have 5 more days with you guys right now. That's all I got. I really want to spend as much time interactive as we can because you're always going to have the videos because I'm going to load new videos up every single day. But we only have this time to talk, and I want to open up by just saying, ask me anything.
Well, just, in line with what you were asking about how we use our accountability metrics and what works for us, I just, I kind of wanted to just share with you what I've been doing, and that's the kind of what you suggested is journaling, keeping track of not only my physical progress throughout the day. So I'm trying to keep track of my workouts, hold myself accountable by staying active every single day. Any books that I'm reading, I take notes about what I learned, what was valuable, any highlights of the book that I really wanted to remember, and then just what happened throughout my day so that I can reflect on it, see how I'm doing, emotionally with my educational goals and with my fitness goals. So by journaling every day, I'm able to keep track of that, but then incrementally, usually either, once a week, then go back in a month, go back annually, and actually reflect on those goals. I've been able to really see kind of what progress I've been able to make, what areas I lacked in, and like you said, kind of hold myself accountable to achieving the results that I'm hoping to achieve.
So my question is, what do you do with those how methodical is the accountability metric, first of all? Is it, what does it look like? Define it for us.
For me, what I do is kind of like what you said, is at the back of the journal, what I do is I actually go through and I make a list of everything that I'm trying to accomplish with the year. So, I can go back and look at what aspects of my life I'm really trying to focus on, whether it's patience or anger or family ties or success upon release, and all these different things that I'm trying to get done with my education and fitness goals. And then incrementally every month, usually I'd say at least, I go back and I look at that, and I can look at my progress daily and reflect and kind of cross-reference it against what I'm looking at to see what progress I've been able to make and what, where I've fallen short.
So you haven't gotten this book yet, but you are going to get the PDFs. I've just sent the PDFs to the jail, and I think they'll print them today. So under the accountability metric, there's a couple of things that I would suggest you look at, all of you. Okay? Because although it may feel like you're wasting time right now, it may feel like, you're just waiting for calendar pages to turn. So either you can get sentenced, or you can get out, or you can get to the prison. It's a waiting game. But it's also a time for you to be thinking about the challenges that you're going to be facing in the future.
Yeah.
And earlier we spoke about defining your market. If you think about the people you're going to encounter along the way, what I want you to be able to do is actually show them. I want you to be able to show them, what did I do on a given day? And I got to step away from my desk because I want to get a book. So hold on a second.
All right.
Okay. I have a bunch of these books here, and they should be in your library. But I want to show you one, and it's this one. If you guys haven't read this book or haven't gotten this book, I wrote this book very specifically for that reason of what I'm telling you guys to do right now. This is a little book, right? And it's called Prison, My 8,344th Day, A Typical Day in an Ongoing Journey. And the reason that I wrote this particular book is it was going to be a companion to this very big book, which I know you've read, Cole. So This was a accountability metric to show how I get through a very, very long sentence. This was 9 documents, really 9,135 days in prison. This documents a single day. What is the mindset to get through a single day? And if you define success on what you're supposed to be doing, the more crystallized you can get it, then the more you can hold yourself accountable. And I always remember the first sentence of this book. The first sentence of this book is, if I could find the first page before I get through all the other stuff. It says what time I woke up in the morning. And the whole book is broken up hour by hour. And there are pictures in it, kind of the accountability metrics I used to use while I was in jail. But the important point that I'm trying to share with you is that those tools helped me open enormous opportunities when I was getting out and I was trying to make a case to influence my case manager to let me transition to home confinement in a halfway house. So that accountability metric, by me being able to show how hard I worked, starting in the county jail, all the way through prison, I was able to differentiate myself from other people that served long sentences. Because the system is going to respond to you if you've got a long sentence like I had. I was a serious drug trafficker when I was a kid. That's how they classified me. I had to disrupt that mindset. I had to give them a different, say, no, I was 20 years old at that time. The system will always look at you based on your pre-sentence investigation report or who you were at potentially the time that you made the worst decision in your life, unless you do something about it. So when you're making these accountability metrics, my suggestion or recommendation to you is you make it extremely specific with regard to timing, days, how it relates to a very specific section of your life, right? If it's your fitness, because you said how you're exercising or something, if it's your development of your education, if it's your development of your spiritual belief, if it's your commitment to resolving substance abuse issues, if it's fighting the triggers that can, send you back to problems, if it's, I think it was, Jay who said he wanted to leave his community, maybe it's to avoid criminal associates. To the extent that you define it, and then on top of defining it, to the extent that you document, hey, I took a documented strategy. This is a tool I created, my journal. Here's how I measured success. This is what I was going to do on this week, that week, this month. And you show actual, I wrote in Earning Freedom, for me, it was I wanted to have a university degrees within 10 years. I wanted to have, I wanted to be a published author within 10 years. And I wanted to have 10 people in my life within 10 years. Because I documented how I got there, I could go back and say it was these choices in jail, in prison that made all the difference. And then when I was making a case to a probation officer, to a case manager, to an employer, to a business leader, they could say, that's really impressive. That really is more aligned with serving your time like you're a CEO and not like you're just a guy in jail. Right. That's what you got to do, Cole. So I really encourage you, document it, but then find a way to publish it. Find a way to publish it. Put it online. Create a documented story so anybody can see it, right? Early this morning at like 4 a.m, you guys have all heard of Twitter. I made a tweet that said, I'm excited about preparing this course on accountability metrics for people inside of the jail because I want to document that I actually started working before 4 a.m. That helps me build the case. When I go to because I can't fake that. That becomes a permanent record. So like one step may say, I'm going to start documenting a journal. So I would recommend this to anybody that's going into prison, whether it's Hancock or you, or it's D'Angelo, and you're facing something, you start documenting right now that today was the day I decided to draw a line in the sand and start building my ladder. That's one step. Find somebody, and it may take you a month to find somebody. It may take you 3 months, but find somebody who will invest in you and collaborate with you and say, okay, send them to me. I'll type them up and put them online for you. Then you start You start accumulating a permanent record. I guarantee you, the jail is keeping a record on you. If any of you guys get in trouble, there's going to be a record, and it's going to follow you to prison, and it's going to come back to haunt you 6 years from now or 9 years from now or something like, oh, you got in a fight in the jail. That's not good. Okay. And they're going to be judging you based on that. You've got to say, how did you avoid it? You document that. That's when your accountability metric changes from just being words on a page to becoming an asset that you use to leverage new opportunities. If you're like Johnny and you want to start helping people build apprenticeship programs, and you need to go out and get sponsorship from corporations and say, hey, I need you to sponsor me with $500 a month. And Johnny says, okay, if I can get 10 businesses to sponsor me for $500 a month, that gives me $5,000 a month. I can live off of that. And now I don't have to charge anybody anything. And I'm teaching people how to be successful citizens. All of those possibilities and dreams start by defining success, clarifying your goals, making 100% commitment, making sure that you've got an aspiration of what you're trying to build, taking action, but most importantly, holding yourself accountable. And in tomorrow's class, we're going to talk about awareness. But I just want to emphasize with you, Cole, the importance of using this in a methodical way, recognizing this is going to be an asset for you. So put the date on it, put the time on it, put a relationship on how it relates to a very, very specific goal. And that's when you're on this pathway that'll help you grow. Make sense?
Awesome. Very much. Thank you very much.
No, I'm probably not giving you anything that you don't know, because anybody who reads business books knows about this. Okay? I just spin it in a manner that I learned these lessons from leaders, but I used them in jail and prison to say, I don't want to be a convict. I want to be the CEO of my life. And I want you guys to be the CEO of your life. That's how you're going to move the needle and be different from what the system expects of you.
Well, and that's what makes your message so powerful, Michael, is that you've been through it, you've done it, you did it successfully, and now you're here on a completely different capacity to help us make the same, take the same steps towards doing the same thing. And having somebody who's been through it and completed it successfully is not only inspirational, but it provides us with a roadmap that's extremely helpful. So thank you.
Thank you.